Okay, we're starting a Maimer today, Shabbos Lecha Yud Ches from Tavshin Beis. That is a little different than the calendar setting of this year. The Maimer is a Maimer from the 10th of Cheshvan Tavshin Beis, which is late 1981. And the Maimer, the Rebbe discusses the two different formats of accelerating which is the underlining of the words Lecha, going from above to below, going from below to above. And both of them are part of serving the Creator. There's two different formats. There's one format from above to below, one is from below to above. It is based on the Hasidic discourse that is in Torah Eir, which is from the Alter Rebbe. So the Rebbe brings it in his Maimer, and the Rebbe brings it out more in detail. So the Maimer starts, Lech, Lecha, Meyartecha, Meyladitecha, Beis Avicha, that Avram Avinu was told that he should leave his land and his birthplace and the household of his parents, Mevair, the house of his parents, and Mevair, Rabbeinu Azaken b'Torah Eirish Parsha Seinu, and the Alter Rebbe explains in Torah Eir, beginning of our Parsha, the Halicha Zu Yesh B'Beis Inyanim. That this halicha, this union of going away, is and it's also called progress in a spiritual sense, has two formats. That it says Avram Avinu that he went to Masov to his trips. Shehein beis masois. When it says Masov in plural, that means there are two masois. Memato lemailo, memailo lemato. There is from below to above, and there is from above to below. Beinyan alicha, memailo lemato. In regards to the alicha, which is from above to below, which this is the one that the Rebbe begins with, and mamshich mevayer sham. So the Alter Rebbe continues and elaborates and explains that why is there a need that it should be going from above to below? The Avram. That Avram, the name Avram is an acronym, two words, Avram, which speaks about the level of Chochmah, Seichel Anela Mikol Raya. That is the level of Chochmah intellect, which is higher yet than any revelation. And from this level, a person needs to descend from above to below, till he reaches the land. That I will envision, I'll show you. The Eretz, when we speak about land in attributes, this is Sfiras HaMalchus. So it's going from the first attribute, which is Chachma, wisdom, and reaching Sfiras HaMalchus, royalty, which is the lowest of all the attributes. The reason that Malchus is the lowest from all the attributes is because the union of Malchus is Dibur, speech, and speech is something that is the lowest in all the personal character traits. This is already how a person relates to the outside world and communicates with the outside world, which this is the first dimension, that in order that a person should be able to communicate with the outside world, so this is by speaking to someone else. And this is also in the attributes and in the worlds, this refers to Malchus, that Malchus reveals from the higher levels, as speech reveals what's inside a person.
Writing is a lower level than speech.
Yeah, but this is the first opening that the person is relating to the outside world. There's writing, there's zrika, there are all kinds of keichas and maisa alone.
Why is it called the lowest? Is it going to explain it? Or?
Because the 10 attributes refer to the 10 personal character traits.
Okay.
Reflect them. The one that is already reaching outside the person and relating to the outside world is speech. Gilui. Dibur is the union of Gilui, revelation. Malchus. It's Shechina medaberes mit Grene, lowest in what sense? It is the union of Shechina Bechlal is Malchus. And Malchus, Shechina medaberes mit Grene, that is going through a bus of Adam. And as the Alter Rebbe says in the Geras HaKedesh, we had it a few days ago, last week. The Pchina means the Shechina, the godliness, is speaking from his throat by all the different sages that they relate in Yonim of Torah. They had the Ruach HaKedesh. So Alter Rebbe says this goes for all it's referring to all the great giants in the Jewish nation. which speaks about, as the Alter Rebbe mentions specifically. V'yad l'oretz kipshuto, so oretz means the union of Malchus, and oretz also means kipshuto oretz. In general, the four Yesedus, the four elements, Eish, Ruach, Mayim, Ofar, also reflect the four groups of the attributes. Eish is Chachma, the same sense that Eish, fire, is something that cleaves and yearns to higher. The same thing, Chachma is the highest level. And then the lowest of them, we're not going to go into the other details, the lowest is Ofar, the union of Malchus. Malchus is the same sense that Ofar is something that has the potential of growing. Keach HaTzemeach, the growing isn't the potential of the ground. The same sense, Malchus has the infinite Keach that of creation through the channel of Malchus. The Eibishter is creating, the Almighty is creating. But Malchus has this infinite potential that the other attributes don't have, and therefore, when Mashiach will come by the Geula, the other attributes will receive their sustenance from Malchus.
Don't they now?
From attributes. They now, but indirectly, and it's in Be'ikad now, Zoy is the Mashpia. The attributes are the ones that give. And then it'll be, and Malchus is the receiver. Then it'll be like male and female. So Zoy is the male, and the Malchus the female. Then it'll be Nekeva to save of Gover. That the females, that they will be receiving from the root of Malchus, of royalty, the attribute of royalty, which is a higher source than the attribute of, than the other attributes.
Does that have to do with like a Teres Bala? Same thing?
Eishes Chayla Teres Baila, yeah. But the Sherish of Malchus is higher than Zoh, than the higher attributes. Although this halicha, this going from above to below, is considered a descent, that through this descent there's also an elevation, that he received a unique quality. He received a new name, a new letter in his name. That he received the name, the Os Hey, the letter Hey, from Avram to Avraham. That then he received this entity, which is also the potential that he is the father of all the nations, of the nations. Because he descended, and he is the one that is the leader and guiding the other nations. So therefore, and Eishei was added to his name in order that a person should be able to descend lower. He needs to have a greater strength in order to be able to descend and endure a lower level. Similar to the Chacham, when a Chacham, a wise person, needs to draw down to teach, instruct a child in age or a child in intellect, so he needs a Bina Yeseda, a special intuition, an additional intuition, in order they should be able to be mashpia. Which means that, as the Rebbe Rashab mentions in a Maimer, the Maimer, the Rebbe Rashab is a Maimer in Hamshachayim base. And there the Rebbe Rashab speaks about two different concepts. One is called halbosha, one is called hafshota. Halbosha means to enclose something in garments. Hafshota means to expose, to take it out from there and to bring it up, to bring out the delicate and the spiritual features of a certain inyan. So the Rebbe Rashab says one is dependent on the other. The more that he understands something in the hafshata, in the depth of the concept, the more he can bring it down lower. Because in order to bring it down lower, he can't just use words. He has to understand it in the depth that he should be able to express it in an example, which the example, the mashal, might sometimes be alien to the contents of the inyan itself, to the essence of the concept itself. So therefore, he needs to be able to understand it in a way that he can find examples for this concept on every different level. And therefore, this is only because he understands this concept in its essence.